Welcome back to another edition of Modern Dallas TV. I'm Jeff Levine with ModernDallas.net. This week we're here at our sponsor, Orinari, manufacturers of kitchens, closets, and bathroom cabinetry. And we're featuring the Ball Collection, this beautiful collection by Marcelo Rosenbaum. Available in painted finishes like yellow, blue, green, red, whatever makes you happy. High gloss or matte, and you can see it here at 1617 Highline Drive, Suite 190A, or visit them at orinari.com. But we have a wonderful show. We visit an amazing live workspace called the Sugar Building on McKinney Avenue. Stop by Cris Worley Fine Art and see the show by Paul Manus. And lastly, we visit the Continental Gin Studios because they have their studio tour next week on the 11th and the 12th. And we stop by a couple of the studios and talk with the artists. But stick around for the art scene, the calendar, and enjoy this edition of Modern Dallas TV. The kitchen is the heart of the modern home and should be both highly functional and beautiful to behold. You'll find renowned showrooms to help you create a kitchen that's a modern masterpiece. Orinari, the luxurious Brazilian showroom, offers you the highest quality of life with signature custom designs while maintaining a strong commitment to sustainability. Known for using diverse colors, textures, and raw materials while blending local taste with modernist style. Modern Dallas Real Estate this week is at the Sugar Building, maybe the coolest live workspace in Dallas. It's located at 3203 McKinney. I'm here with Stephen Beard, and it's co-listed with you and Jared Barnes and Joseph Galetta, or with Dave Perry Miller Real Estate. When you walk into this building, Stephen, this is something special. Tell me a little bit about what it offers, because this is not just office space. This is a whole lifestyle.
Sure, it's just a fantastic property. As you said, 3203 McKinney Avenue, often referred to as the Sugar Building. People recognize this property and they notice it, as they're driving down McKinney, or you'll mention it, people realize the building. It is a lifestyle, live workspace. It consists of office space as well as two residential components. So there is a large parking garage on the bottom floor, and then you come up an elevator. The first floor you find office space, which is just very well finished out, high end. Even like the kitchen areas finished out with bowl top counters and high end appliances. The restrooms look like something you'd find in a W hotel, but just beautiful space, very quiet. It's probably the quietest building I've been in. You can be 15 feet from the street and not hear cars that are driving by. High ceilings, modern finished out, museum finished walls, and just again, beautiful space.
So let me ask you this: the office space, you're right, is beautiful, but then you come upstairs, and you've got these two residences, both 2 levels. What were they thinking?
It is. That's where you get your real surprise. Both just 2 beautiful residential units. Initially, 2 business partners built this for their office and their personal live workspace, and they thought they would never leave the property. So they went above and beyond on some of the finish out and the details they put into the building. And just again, outstanding. Great views for starters from these units toward downtown and just uptown in general. Each unit is a 2-story residence, and they have things such as terrazzo floors. Again, your really high-end appliances like Sub-Zero, Gagano, and such. One unit has slab floors, so it's just again really kind of modern, contemporary. Bathrooms that you wouldn't believe, these big open showers.
That retreat bathroom's not too shabby.
That's correct. Yeah, not bad at all. It is like a retreat. There is access. There is a rooftop deck as well. So you're talking views. Just outstanding, fantastic views from the rooftop. But they just really wanted to put the highest end finish out and just really wide open spaces. Again, same in the residential space, very quiet. They went above and beyond with the insulation and the high grade windows, commercial windows they put in the building.
Well, I tell you what, it's an interesting concept because I've driven by this building many a time, and I don't think you can actually understand or get the real feel until you're in the space. It's well executed, fantastically designed. I think we could talk a whole lot about it, but the photos and the images that you're going to see in this video are really the true story about this building and office space.
That is true. One other thing, the exterior is outstanding. It's just beautiful, very modern, just again, eye-catching, you know, and it's just, I think, one of the prettier buildings along McKinney Avenue.
I would tend to agree with that.
And everybody who comes in this place, they have the same reaction as you do. They just love it. I mean, there's not a person who comes in who doesn't love this property.
Well, it comes down to the end of whether you can work and live in the same space. But it is magnificent. It is listed for?
It's listed for $6,887,000.
And you can see it at daveperrymiller.com.
That is correct. On our website, you can find it.
Or on moderndallas.net and see all the modern listings in Dallas. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Inside Bo Concept, you'll discover a refined balance of classic Danish sensibilities and modern innovation that has been the essence of urban Danish design since 1952. Bo Concept designers combine ultimate luxury and urban functionality as they create custom, personalized designs with you as the focus. The results are timeless, beautiful pieces with international appeal. Modern Dallas Art this week is here at Cris Worley Fine Art. I'm here with Cris Worley. Thanks for having us again.
My pleasure.
It's always wonderful to stop by, and we have the opportunity to see the work by Paul Manus, and it's a show called HAREM, and this is just beautiful work.
Thank you. It is a very elegant exhibition of paintings and sculptures, I'm very pleased to say.
You know, when I look at this work, it feels so inviting, so comforting. Tell us a bit about this process and his show, and what does this all mean as HAREM?
Okay. Well, Paul is actually someone who was born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, so he is local. He lived and worked in New York since the early 80s, but a couple of years ago he moved to Colorado. Now, before that time, his work was very representational. You would see images of tumbling logs, tumbling bowls, airplanes, raindrops, you name it. Now, since that time, he's moved into an abstract period. And he started working with this hexagonal shape, which you'll see throughout the show in all of the paintings. And he is very open in his mind about this. He doesn't necessarily know where it's even come from. He just let it flow. And he says they really paint themselves, that the hexagonal shape is something that easily builds on itself. And rather than having a set idea in mind, he lets it flow from his hands.
Well, it almost feels like that. These could be so many different things. Just as we were standing and looking at each piece, they sort of form their own identities. Like the one you look at, it may have some cacti in it, or it's a honeycomb.
That's interesting, right.
And it's interesting that it's a simple shape.
Mm-hmm. It's a very simple shape. It's obviously a shape found throughout nature.
Absolutely.
And so I think one of the things that's really interesting about it is that the more time you spend with it and let your mind kind of wander, it can be a lot of different things, and you can get a lot of different feelings from it. So we're enjoying, spending time with this new style. He will continue to do his other work because he goes in and out of different periods. Along with this, he's also recently introduced sculpture into his work, and some of it is cast in bronze. And so we're also enjoying seeing some themes of nature, but also some figurative work in the sculpture as well.
And you have them part of the show as well?
Yes.
Well, it's an amazing show. You can stop by the gallery. Where you're located?
We're at 1845 East Levy Street, down in the Design District. Turtle Creek dead ends into our building.
Wonderful. Or you can see you online at Cris Worley. .com. Sounds like a plan to us. Stop by the show. It ends November 12th. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Jeff.
it.
Thank you.
The modern lifestyle begins in the home, and you'll find a range of unique living spaces across Dallas's most desirable neighborhoods. Start your search by meeting one of these modern realtors. Kochie began his career with a degree in architecture, followed by years of interior design work, including the interior design of several luxury high-rises and commissions for clients' dream homes. Kochie's distinct background makes real estate a natural fit. Modern Dallas this week is here at the Continental Gin Studios in Deep Ellum, and we're here because they have their open studios coming up on the 11th and 12th, Friday and Saturday. On Friday they're open 6 to 10 p.m. and Saturday 2 to 8 p.m. But we stopped by Ty Milner's studio and see this amazing downtown work of art. Ty, this is amazing. Tell us a little bit about your experience in Continental Gin and a little bit about the artwork.
All right. Well, I've been here for nearly 13 years at the Continental Gin Building. I moved here in April of 2004, and it has been an experience being here. It's been loads of fun. I've met a lot of people, both in the building and who've come through the building through the years during open studio shows that we've had twice a year. And I've been doing my craft, architectural illustration, portraits, and fine art since that time. I actually have been doing it for over 32 years.
So obviously I've been coming through years and years, and this piece of work behind us is Dallas, maybe at its finest. Mm-hmm. What prompted this endeavor? And I mean, it keeps growing, so I don't know when it stops.
I have no idea. No, it's been a compilation of things. My first thought was that I was going to try to accomplish between 4 and 10 paintings of downtown. I didn't think that I would be working on this scale. It is 15 feet wide by 4 feet tall, and it is a panoramic, quite literally 180-degree view of downtown. And I started on the project back in February 2012, February 20th, about 11 a.m. Anyway, it's something that's, for historical reasons, I'm doing it because I've always loved Dallas, and I think that downtown is probably one of the prettiest skylines that you will ever see. It's not the biggest by any stretch of the imagination, but it's constantly growing, bigger and taller. In fact, I think H. Ross Perot, from what I've heard, he may actually be building the tallest skyscraper in Dallas.
And that'll find its way here as well.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And I can't quite pinpoint where exactly it'll be, but perhaps I should have started on a taller canvas. I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, we appreciate you being part of the show, and we'll come back and see progress of how this is evolving. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
So as we continue our journey, we stop by one of the longest running tenants in the building, Bob Nunn. Bob, you've been here a couple of years.
I've been here for 30 years.
Wow, unbelievable. What's it like being part of this institution for 30 years?
Well, I've seen a lot of good artists come and a lot of good artists go over the years. It's been really good for me personally. I don't know how it works for all the other artists, to be in a community of artists where I have some feedback from the other artists. The other artists stop by, and I've been in the business for so long, the young ones come by and sometimes ask for advice or for help, but I also go to them at times because they know new things that I don't know. So,
well, it's amazing. Your body of work is fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and your work.
Well, I began this journey in the work about 45 years ago, working with a group of paintings that were biomedical, sort of, or They were machines that had human form, and slowly over the years, those machines began to inhabit landscapes. And then the landscapes started to have forms that were kind of like people, but not exactly. And then over time, they really became more abstract landscapes and then some botanical works.
Well, it's a wonderful collection. What is this piece behind us?
Well, it's one that came about while that transition was going on, because this includes the machine paintings that I had been doing from the far end. And then those machine paintings started including landscapes. And then in those landscapes, suddenly these, I call them bottle people, began to appear. And then eventually I went into more absolute abstract work. And so this was a painting that sort of took everything I was doing at the time into one painting rather than doing individual paintings of that particular subject.
Well, it's fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you.
We've been here many times. Love seeing your work. So stop by this studio on your journey and see our next one with Andrew Kochie. As we continue our journey through the Continental Gin Studios, we stop by Andrew Kochie's studio. And Andrew, you've got an amazing body of work here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your process.
I do geometric abstraction, so I'm bringing back some of the classical elements with the abstract art, but I also make it look 3D when it's perfectly flat. And that started from whenever I was making violins, violas, and cellos for a living. And then I loved the varnish that was on there that looked 3D. So I started doing that in paint, but using more geometric form.
That's amazing, because the combination of the elements that you add into each piece gives it such different character. It's amazing just looking at the different work. The one metallic piece, tell us a little bit about that.
I etch aluminum, and what it does is I go back over with transparent acrylics, and then so it'll catch light and change throughout the day, even in low light. It's going to reflect back at you some of the light.
Wonderful. It's unbelievable. What room number are you in?
I'm in 3W6.
3W6. You can see this as well as Ty's studio and a bunch of other ones, all here on November the 11th and 12th. And you can visit continentalginbuilding.com for all the details. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Thanks. To wrap up this edition on the art scene, obviously we have the Continental Gin Studios, November the 11th and 12th. You can get all the details on the website on the arts page. On the calendar of events, Preservation Dallas, as well as the Architecture Forum have events coming up. The Architecture Forum has their 365 Modern Music event on the 12th at 2 p.m. Get all the information and tickets at our website on the calendar page. Open houses every week. You can create your own mini mod home tour. We have some amazing homes. Check it out on the real estate page. Todd Camplin covers the art scene. Great insight and reviews on our arts page, as well as if you're in the market for a modern, mid-century modern, contemporary home, high-rise or loft, we simply have the finest moderns in Dallas. For this week, like every week, we appreciate you being part of our show, and we'll see you later.